boys and girls. Today we are going to continue to focus on dividing. We're going to divide whole numbers and we're going to focus on the standard algorithm. So this is just the simple steps that we follow. Back when I was in fourth grade, this is how I learned. I'm sure your parents learned this strategy as well, so I'm sure they will enjoy seeing you use it. Let's get started. Just a little review with those precise words. Ready? I do, you do, dividend, divisor, quotient, remainder. I have a little cheat sheet here for you. We saw this yesterday just to help us learn those precise words. The dividend, again, is that number that we start with that we're going to break apart. The divisor is the number we're breaking apart. And last, the answer is called the quotient. If there's anything left over that doesn't fit into a group, it's called the remainder. All right? So if you need to refer back to that, that's slide 418. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take a screenshot so you have these steps in front of you. These are our steps for using the standard algorithm. So take a quick screenshot so it's saved to your photos. And I know like Annabelle in my room, she'll pull it up, the steps, and then she'll have like Notability open on the other side of her screen. So she's got that split screen. So as she's solving, she crosses it off as she goes. I think that's a great strategy. Good job to Annabelle. So first, let's get started. Our first step is to list your multiples. So we're going to look here at my problem. I'm solving dividend of 8 divided by a divisor 3 equals a quotient of t. We don't know that quotient yet. So first what I need to do is I need to list my multiples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my divisor, my group, and I'm going to break it up by listing my multiples. All right, so like I said, I'm going to take that divisor and I'm going to list my multiples. I like to list the first 10. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. Now that I have these multiples listed, it's almost like a cheat sheet for me. So as I'm going to solve my division problem, this helps me. So I'm going to refer back to it a lot and you'll see what I mean. All right, so I'm going to set up my problem. Watch how I do this. It's 8 divided by 3. Watch. 8 divided by 3. Okay, so we're trying to see, I like to refer back to food, you know what I mean? I'm trying to see how many groups, if I have 8 cookies, how many groups or numbers of cookies would I give to 3 people? So I'm looking for 3 going into the number 8. I'm going to list my steps for division. My steps are divide. Maybe I should type these for you. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. I'm kind of going to use that as a checklist as we go through. So 8 divided by 3. I'm going to look over here on my list of multiples, and I'm looking for the number 8. Now, I can't go above 8 because I don't have more than 8 cookies. So does anyone see the number 8? I don't see the number 8. So I'm trying to get as close as I can to the number 8, but I can't go over. I can't go more than 8. The closest I can get is 6. Okay, 9 wouldn't work because it's more than 8. How many times did I count by 3s to get to 6? 1, 2. That's me dividing. So I'm going to put my 2 on top. That's dividing. So I crossed it off. Now I'm going to multiply. I'm going to multiply 2 times 3. We already know 2 3 times is the number 6. And I have that cheat sheet right here for me. So underneath my 8, I'm going to write my 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Multiplied. Check. We did it. Next, S is subtract. So we're going to subtract that 8 minus 6, and I'm left with a difference of 2. That's me subtracting. Now, I'm going to try to divide. Can 3 go into 2? Can I find the number 2 over here? No. So this is where I would bring down, but I don't have any other number over here to bring down. So I don't have this step. I have 2 as my quotient, and I have 2 left over. So this number here is my remainder. My number on top is my quotient, okay? So my answer, or my value for t, is t equals 2 remainder 2. We could always double check our work by using those fair sharing strategies that we learned in 3rd grade and break up the number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Guys, I'm supposed to do groups of 3. This isn't a group of 3. I was dividing by 2. I should have 3 groups. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3. And now I can divide the number 8 because I have 3 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, that wouldn't work because they're not equal. So I would take these 2 out, and I would put them as my remainder. So each group gets 2 with a remainder of 2. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So we remember our first step is to list our multiples that are divisor. So we're going to look at our equation, 12 divided by 5, which means we're listing our multiples for 5. Like I said, I like to list the first 10 multiples. So I'm going to do 5, 10, 15, 20. Why don't you pause and you continue listing the first 10. I shouldn't put spaces in between because then it takes up too much room. All right, so now that we've listed our multiples, our next step is to list your steps. So our steps are to divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. If you want to write them out like this to help you, that's fine too. And if not, you can always just do, I do DMSB, up to you. Now I'm going to write my equation, 12 divided by 5. So I'm trying to look over here for the number 12. Remember, this is like my cheat sheet. Use it. We're trying to look for the number 12. We can't go above it. You can't go more than 12 because we don't have more than 12 cookies. So I'm looking and I'm looking. The closest I can get is 10. I can't get to 15 because that's more than 12. To get to 10 by counting by 5s, it takes me 1, 2 times. That's dividing. So I put my 2 on the top. Now I'm going to multiply 2 times 5. Now I don't want you sitting there going 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. No, you have it circled right here. 2 times 5 is 10. You already did that work. Don't waste your time. Now we're going to subtract. 12 minus 10 is 2. Notice I have to be nice and neat and line up my place value. If you mess it up and you're not writing neat, it's going to get confusing. That was me subtracting. Now I'm going to try to divide again. 5 into 2. I'm looking over here for the number 2, but I can't go over. I don't see the number 2, which means I can't divide 5 into 2. And I have no other numbers to bring down. Okay, so this isn't an option for this equation. My quotient, or my answer, is 2, and I have a remainder of 2. So t equals 2 remainder 2. Again, we had that answer in the last one. A way to double check is I can make my 5 groups. I could divide up 15 into those 5 groups, and I would see that there was 2 in each group and 2 left over. Okay? All right. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try the next one all by yourself. The equation is 17 divided by 4. 17 divided by 4. I want you to follow the steps, list your multiples, list your steps, and then go through and solve it, okay? Then check back with me to see how you did. All right, friends, let's go ahead. Hopefully you solved this one already. So we're gonna check your work with my work. First, what you did was you listed your multiples of your divisor and you did the first 10. Remember, this is our cheat sheet. You just did half of the hard work of dividing. Now we're gonna divide. So what we're gonna do is we're looking for technically the number 1 first, because that's our first digit. And when we look, we know that 4 can't go into 1. There's no number 1 over here. So we're going to then combine the numbers and look at the number 17. I'm looking over here for the number 17. I do not see it, but I do see a number that's close and it does not go over. And that number is 16. Okay, so that's me dividing. But I have to figure out how many times can 4 go into 16. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put my number on top. I know 4 groups of 4 would equal 16. Then I'm going to multiply. I'm going to multiply that 4 times 4, and we know it's 16. After I multiply, I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract 17 minus 16, and I get a difference of 1. Now I'm going to try to divide. I know technically it says to bring down, but I want to try to divide first before I bring something down. So 4 going into 1. Like I think of 4 people, 1 chair. Does that work? No. Looking over here for the number 1, I don't see it, which means this, I would try to bring another number down, but I don't have any other numbers to bring down. So my quotient is 4 and my remainder is 1. So T equals 4, remainder 1. Okay? Nice job. We're going to end before you do your exit ticket. Hopefully there's enough time with a word problem. So they're doing the same thing we were doing, but now it's within a word problem. Let's read it. Mrs. Andrews bought 15 candy canes to give to her 2 boys. How many candy canes will each of her children get? So I only have 2 kids. I'm going to solve 15 divided by 2. I want you to go for this one. Try it all by yourself. Look back at the steps if you need it. 15 divided by 2. All right, friends, so I hope I didn't trick you on this one. When you divided 15 divided by 2, you should have gotten an answer of 7 remainder 1. Now, I can't have a remainder of 1 candy cane, well, I can, but I can't give that to my kids. So I have Mrs. Andrews' children would each get 7 candy canes and 1 would be left over, right? I can't share just 1. I can't just give it to Michael, just give it to Alexander. So 1 would be left over, okay? All right, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to head to Schoology right now and you're going to do the exit ticket. Like normal, you're gonna open it up in Notability. You'll solve it, show all your work, and then submit it back to Schoology once you're complete. Remember to keep practicing those math facts, and thanks for working hard. Bye, guys.